What's up? I am sweat trainer Kelsey Wells here with Well+Good for your Movement of the Month Club. Now this month, our focus is on gaining glute strength. To kick things off today, we are going to start with a glute mobility session. This feels so good. You are going to want to save this and do it after every single glute workout you do your whole life long. I mean, it is that good. I'm so excited to go through this with you today. The format is going to be different than a typical workout format. We have 7 exercises, but they're more like stretches or obviously mobility moves. And it's going to be a lot of dynamic stretching. What we're going to do is we're going to go through each movement for 60 seconds and then flow right to the next times 3. So 3 laps of our 7 exercises. It's gonna be a nice gentle flow, and I'm so excited to show you guys these moves. So without further ado, you don't even need to stretch because this is our warm-up, or it could be a cool down also. And we're gonna get right into it. So first up, we're going to squat and extend. You're going to begin with your feet wider than shoulder width, toes pointing out, come down into a nice deep squat. So a nice deep squat, you're going to extend, standing all the way back up, and right back into that deep squat. So nice and smooth, nice and slow. Squat into that extend. Breathing and pivoting your feet back into that deep squat. I like to have my hands in prayer and your elbows are kind of gently pushing your knees out. And into the extend. It's okay if you need to shorten your range of motion, that's just fine. This is about meeting you where you are at. Squat and extend. About 10 more seconds here and we'll flow into the next move. 1 more deep squat. Beautiful. Now, our next move is a downward dog with a calf pump. So I want you to come into that downward dog position. First in the high plank with your wrists and shoulders stacked, feet shoulder width apart. And you're going to push those hips back until you feel a nice stretch through the back of your legs. This is our downward dog. Now, add that calf pump. You should really feel that stretch through your hamstrings and all the way down through your calf. Beautiful. Feels so good. 60 seconds here. We only have about 10 seconds left. And the next exercise we're flowing into is called the squat and reach. In 3, 2, 1. Come down gently. Now back into that nice wide, deep squat position. This time we're placing one hand on the ground, leaning into that knee and reaching with your opposite arm to the ceiling, looking, following through with your head. Place that arm down, reach, pivoting, twisting your whole body, and back down. You can shorten your stance as well if you need to. Reach, following with your head, placing that hand on the ground and alternating. Reach, slow and steady, breathing through the movements. About 10 more seconds here. So you can have a narrow stance like this or wider, whatever's more comfortable for you. Beautiful. Next, we're going to alternating knee hugs. So I want you to join me standing with your feet about shoulder width apart. And you're going to hug one knee to your chest and then the other. $60 seconds. You don't have to go all the way to your chest if you're just right here. That's perfectly fine too. About 20 more seconds here. Feels so good. And if for balance help you need to grab a chair to lean on for this, that's just fine. and 5. One more. Beautiful. All right, into our kneeling hip flexor stretch. So you're going to kneel on the ground, placing one foot in front, and you want to just lean into that forward knee until you feel a nice stretch through your opposite hip flexor. You don't have to go down super low. It's quite subtle when you start to feel it. And because this is dynamic stretching, we're not just holding that, we're kind of going in and out of it. Other side. Whatever range of motion feels best for you. And 3, 2. Okay, next we have our supine glute stretch, which means you're just facing the ceiling, laying on your mat. And I want you to cross opposite ankle to knee, and you gently push out for a few breaths. And then if you want a deeper stretch, you're going to bring that knee into your chest like this. And you should feel that stretch all the way down. And keep breathing. You can also stretch both like this. 30 seconds per side here. And switching sides. Press and bring it in. I like to press and hold it. Your back is flat on the mat. Nice deep breathing throughout these stretches. And last but not least, our seated hamstring stretch. So I want you to open your legs, bending one in, and then lean over that opposite leg. Lean over your straight leg. And again, you can come in and out of this. You can stretch your side as well here. Or you can fold over your leg. Whatever feels best to you in this moment. Switching sides. This is going to stretch your hamstring right here. Folding over is going to stretch your hamstring and down your opposite side. Nice deep breaths. Beautiful. All right, we're going to take about a 30-second rest and repeat that circuit. Beginning again, we're going to start with the squat and extend. So we're going to begin standing with your feet about probably a foot width wider than shoulder width, toes slightly facing out. Just join me in taking some deep breaths before we begin our second round. Beautiful. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale. This time I want you to exhale, reaching down into that nice deep squat. Beginning our second round of our mobility session, and extend. Now I want you to watch how when I squat, my heels pivot in so that my feet are pointed out in line with my toes. And then when I straighten my legs to extend, my heels pivot back so that my feet are more parallel. And back into that squat. And extend. Squat. And extend. About 15 seconds left here. Where we go to that downward dog and calf pump. In 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Nice and slowly come up. Meet me at the edge of your mat. Walk into that high plank position. Wrists and shoulders stacked, hinging at the hips. Sending back into down dog. And calf pump. "60 seconds here, alternating, straightening those legs while leaning, kind of pushing through your back, your lats, hinging at the hips. Beautiful. About 5 more seconds. We're heading into our second squat exercise, which is our squat and reach. So you can be in a wider squat like this, place one hand down, lean into that toe, an arm, and reach. Twisting through your core and your obliques, and reach. Nice wide squat, and reach. 30 more seconds. Reach, following with your head, opening up to the ceiling, reaching through your fingertips, and back down. Reach, extend those fingertips, and back down. One more, and back down. Come up nice and gently, making sure you're not dizzy before we go into those alternating knee hugs. Feet about shoulder width apart. Very gentle cardio here, really just loosening those hip flexors, getting our legs warm. Beautiful. Again, you can just go right out here. You can do this next to a wall or a chair for stability. Feels so good. About 10 seconds. And into our kneeling hip flexor stretch. 1 foot forward and lean. Come out. Lean as little or as much as feels best for you. Gently coming in and out, lengthening that range of motion. Other side. You should feel it right through here. Beautiful. About 5 seconds here. Last one. All right, staying on our mat, we are going to go into our supine glute stretch. So lying on your mat facing up. I want you opposite ankle over knee. Pull that knee in if you can. And breathe. I like to pull on it, push. Pull and push. More of a dynamic stretch. Dynamic means moving through a stretch. Static is when you hold one position. Switching sides here. Hold and push. And hold and push, breathing through. Nice. Sitting up nice and gently. Going into our sitting hamstring stretch. One leg bent in, the other toe flexed, gently leaning over. And come back up and back in. And switching sides. Beautiful. And reach. Breathe. Wonderful. We're going to do one more round of all 7 exercises, 60 seconds each. Just giving ourselves a little bit of time to rest. Of course, rest isn't necessarily needed because these are just mobility and stretching, but it feels good to just ground yourself. Feel your muscles opening up and loosening and getting ready to work, or getting stretched out after you've done some hard work. We're going to begin in about 25 seconds our squat and extend once again, but I wanted to take a second and challenge you to do just one thing as you join me on this journey for Movement of the Month Club with Well+Good, and that is to be intentional with your movement. I think a lot of us forget that the reason why we are exercising actually does make a difference and it actually matters. So whether it's to care for yourself, to care for your health, physical, mental, or emotional, or to celebrate your body, to meet yourself in emotion, whatever it may be, make your movement intentional as we move through this month. Now let's get into our final round, beginning with that squat and extend. Nice deep squat and extend. Pivoting those feet back. Hands go on the floor, pivoting those heels out. Feels so good opening up those hips. You can also lean side to side here. And extend. Squat, and one more extension. Rolling up nice and slow. Top of your mat, walking gently into that downward dog. High plank, hinging at the hips. And calf pump. You're welcome to do this mobility session with or without your tennis shoes. I actually love to do this barefoot, especially when I'm at home. About 10 more seconds here. And 3, 2, beautiful. Coming back up, squat and reach. Back down into that nice deep squat. One hand goes on the floor, leaning into that knee. Opening up, twisting through your spine, your torso, your obliques, reaching through your fingertips up to the sky. And back. Switching hands, opening up long, following with your gaze, and back. Feels like a moving meditation. About 10 more seconds. Go at whatever pace feels good for you. You can feel the stretch all the way through your shoulders. Beautiful. alternating knee hugs. So roll up nice and slowly. A few breaths, make sure that you're not dizzy. And going into our knee hugs. Whatever pace feels best for you. Whatever range of motion feels best. You can go right out here, or you can really pull it up. About 5 more seconds. Time for that kneeling hip flexor stretch. Coming back down to your mat. Knees shoulder width apart, placing one foot out in front, about a 90-degree angle, and then pushing into it. Beautiful. And other side. Lean. Deep breaths. I like to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. A supine glute stretch. Lying face up to the ceiling. We are bringing opposite ankle to knee, gently pressing out that knee, pulling the opposite knee to your chest. Push and pull. Beautiful. And switching sides. Press that knee out and then tuck that other knee in. Beautiful. Last but not least, we have our seated hamstring stretch. Legs apart, crossing one in, and reaching towards that straight leg. And reach. Inhale. Side. You can feel it deeper if you flex your foot. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was a nice way to kick off our Movement of the Month Club. Again, save this session and be sure that you subscribe for all the rest of my Movement for the Month Club sessions with Well+Good. I'm so grateful for them to have me. My name is Kelsey Wells and you can train with me anytime in the Sweat app.